Hello, this is Sarah Calandro, and I am demoing for you how I mix my neutral dark gray paint. So on my palette on the right, I have ultramarine blue, and then cadmium red, and then cadmium yellow. And I'm going to use these three colors, a pretty decent amount of each of these. And when I combine them together, it is going to make a completely neutral pile of dark paint that almost looks black. So you see as the colors start blending together, it's starting to look maybe, almost a little like a murky brown. What I'm doing at this point is I'm trying to get it to be as neutral a color as possible. And by neutral, I mean that it doesn't lean in any direction. It doesn't look blue, it doesn't look green, it doesn't look red, orange, or yellow, or purple. I'm also trying to mix all that paint in so that there is no hint of any of the tube colors present in that big pile of paint. Now I feel like I have a pretty neutral pile of paint, and so what I want to do is I want to test that paint. I'm going to take a little dab, pull it out to the side, and now you get to see why my white paint is there. I'm going to add white paint to that neutral paint, and what it's going to do is it's going to lighten it up to where I can really see the color. Whenever it's in that big dark pile, it's hard for me to tell what it looks like. But as I lighten it with white, I can start to see, does it look like it's leaning, does it look neutral or does it look like it's leaning in a direction? And as I get this mixed, I think it's pretty close, but it still feels a little warm to me, maybe even a little orangey. And so what I want to do at this point is I want to add blue. You see me pulling the blue pile. I'm looking to add the complement to orange because when I add a complement, you're going to learn more about this later. When I add the complement, it's going to further neutralize that color down. So pulling it more into the center of what feels like a very neutral gray. So I add even more blue because I feel like I didn't add quite enough. I also want to make sure that pile of paint is really big because I want it to last me a long time. And now it's time to test it again with my white paint. You can see that it looks, if you compare it to that initial pile of paint, it definitely looks like it is a little bit bluer in relationship to that first pile. So I decided I want to pull out a piece of paper. This is just a piece of scrap oil paper that I have lying around my studio. And I want to put some of this on the paper so that I can see it up close. You can see these two next to each other. The second one that I mixed is much more neutral. But I decided that I felt like it was still a little bit too dark. I wanted to see that color a little bit lighter. So I lighten it up a little bit. And now you can really tell this is a very neutral gray. And I feel pretty good about it. So now I want to clean up my palette. I'm going to hold on to this light and neutral pile that was correct, and I'm going to get rid of the one that was too orange. Then I'm going to move that out of the way and get rid of the colored tube paint and clean up the palette. And then I'm going to move my dark neutral paint up to the top right. So I want my darks on the right and my lights on the left.